Welcome to my class, and in this we are doing Unit 7. We are talking about government intervention and market equilibrium. So price control measures by the government, be it above the equilibrium or below, but right now we are going to do price ceiling. That is when the government fixes the price below the equilibrium in support of the consumers. So here, just have a look. This can be explained with the help of this diagram. The line that I've drawn, the price which is below the equilibrium, that is a ceiling price. Okay, so price ceiling. So we know in a competitive market, prices of goods and services are determined by forces of demand and supply, and more so in the capitalistic world. So in developing country like India, essentials of life like food, grains, and life-saving medicines are often found to be extremely scarce. So consequently, their open market prices are very high. So these prices may be so high that the bulk of the poor people find it difficult to buy them. So it leads to undernourishment and malnutrition. Such a situation often compels the government to introduce price ceiling. It means fixing a price for a commodity which is generally lower than the equilibrium market price. So let me just tell you. So ceiling is a maximum limit, maximum price of a commodity that the sellers can charge from the buyers. Often the government fixes this price lower than the equilibrium market price of a commodity so that the poor can afford to buy it. But when price ceiling is introduced, supply and demand forces are impacted. And you can see that in this particular diagram. So let us assume that the concerned commodity, say bajra, this is a staple food in the deserts of Rajasthan. So there's a large number of buyers and sellers of bajra in the deserts of Rajasthan. The market for bajra is almost similar to that of perfect competition. Accordingly, we are assuming that the market price of bajra is determined by the forces of demand and supply. So we see that the demand curve, market demand curve, and the market supply curve for the product. E indicates the point of market equilibrium and OP is the equilibrium price. Okay. And OQ is the equilibrium quantity. Considering the fact that the poor people in the deserts of Rajasthan cannot afford to buy bajra at OP price, the government fixes the price ceiling at OP, which is, it is lower than the equilibrium price. Now, ceiling price is likely to impact the market supply and market demand. When prices reduces, the demand for bajra extends from OQ to OQ2. On the other hand, the supply contracts from OQ to OQ1. Consequently, a gap emerges, as you can see, between market demand and market supply. So it is a situation when demand is greater than supply, or a situation of excess demand. So that is AB. Excess demand is equal to AB. That is Q1, Q2 is equal to OQ2 minus OQ1. So what are the implications? Now this shows that people fail to buy bajra to the extent they wish to buy. Accordingly, a situation of partial hunger may continue to exist. How can this problem be tackled? Rationing is a remedy. Each person is allocated a fixed quota of bajra at the ceiling price. Accordingly, everybody gets a fair amount of the commodity. The problem of hunger is addressed along with the problem of price. But price ceiling with rationing is not totally free from demerits. Now, in this regard, we can see that there are a lot of complaints that there will be long queues at the rationing store to get your allotted quota, and also you can be offered a very low quality product, and sometimes these ration goods they find a way into the black market rather than being delivered to the poor. So black marketing compounds the problem of scarcity and keeps the poorest of the poor in a state of deprivation. So if a price ceiling with rationing is to succeed, The government must improve its uh, public distribution system. The government must evolve a system that ensures that goods are actually delivered to the poor. That means that the government machinery has to be very strong in this case. So the price ceiling will only be successful in such a case.